The economy in Gwent is generally very free-to-play friendly, but the starter decks and collection currently are quite weak. You don't need a lot of resources to change that, but here are some tips to pimp your starting experience. Game modes. There are 3 game modes in Gwent: Ranked, Casual and Arena. Arena is an excellent mode for new players, a place to test out interesting cards and leaders you might want to get later, in games not affected by your collection. If Arena is fun to you, I suggest saving up earned ore for Arena runs until you have enough cards to build a decent deck. If you're not that interested in Arena, most new players who are just starting out would choose to queue Casual over Ranked instinctively. But in this game, playing Ranked is actually the better choice for 2 reasons. The first reason is that you are more likely to find an opponent of similar skill and collection in Ranked, as the matchmaking is better. The second reason is that Ranked offers additional rewards over Casual, and even if you lose a lot of games when starting out, you can quickly climb back when you improve your skill and collection. Focusing on one faction. Something that might look interesting to new players is milling all cards they get for some factions to focus on others. From a value perspective, this is obviously not great, as milling a card only gives you 1/4 to 1/3 of the scraps required to craft a card of the same rarity. But if you find yourself frustrated over not having some keycards in the deck, I think putting fun higher than having a few more scraps later is totally okay. Long term though, I would only really advise going for this is if you're really 100% sure you will never want to play a particular faction, which is almost impossible to know if you're just starting out. Next tip, milling extra copies of cards. Since you can put only 1 copy of an individual gold card in your hand and 2 copies of a single bronze card, all the extra copies are not really needed. There's a button in the collection in the deck builder that says Mill Spare Cards, which you could often press when starting out to get some scraps out of the cards you will never need. This is somewhat of an intermediate tip, but in balance patches, some of the strongest cards in the game will see changes. When that happens, these cards will be able to be milled for 100% of the value, not just 25% as usually. If you don't really need the scraps right now, then holding onto them might be worthwhile. And the last tip, consider spending some money. After getting a feel for the game and having an idea whether you like it or not, consider whether you want to spend real money on this game. As with all card games, the earlier you buy some kegs, the more impactful it is for your collection and deck building possibilities. However, it is by no means necessary to pay and enjoy the game, and even attending a full collection without spending anything is possible. Summarized, we can say, play Ranked to get the most rewards possible, focus on one faction but do not mill the cards from the other factions, mill your spare cards often, except you can wait for balancing patches to get a bit more mill value, and you can play Gwent without spending any money, but a starter pack or some initial kegs never hurt, and with this you also support the development of the game.